Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Onyx Tavern. This is your host, the Barkeep, bringing you podcast 34 here at the Tavern, presented by Hirotaku.com. Well, the major news in Sentai that broke this week is that we have the confirmation of Kyoryuger versus Go Buster coming out in January of next year, so within the next 3 months now, or 3 months now. And it's not really that big of a surprise. We kind of knew that there would be a crossover. There's always been a crossover for the last several years now. And of course, we can look forward to a big action romp, basically. It is likely that the Kyoryuger will make a cameo appearance, as they've been doing in the crossover movies here recently. But of note, the most interesting thing about this announcement is that it's been confirmed that the Zyrangers will appear in the movie. Now, the girl that played the Pink Ranger in the original Zyuranger had said several months ago that the Zyrangers would be involved in some sort of filming regarding Sentai. A lot of people thought that they would appear in the series as a cameo or whatever, but it's now been confirmed that they will indeed be in the movie with the Kyoryugers and the Go Busters. So it seems that there will be a total of 4 Sentai teams within this film, which sounds exciting. But I want to kind of give you guys, my thoughts on this, and what I think of the announcement, and what my hopes are for the film, basically. Because when I heard this, first of all, Zyuranger, is the first Power Ranger series, or was adapted into the first Power Ranger series. So in that aspect, I'm really interested to see these guys in high definition again. Watching Go Buster, seeing the crisp, clean images with, it's a modern viewing, basically, was just really exciting. And now to see him in a movie, a lot more exciting, I think, and a lot more interesting than what we probably had on Go Buster. I'm also interested to see how it ties into the story. Because one of my major issues with Kyoryuger started is that for the second, maybe third time, they've kind of retconned how the dinosaurs were killed off. Now, as we know in Zyuranger, it was Bandora, she made a deal with Great Satan, which killed all the dinosaurs, and then the Zyrangers sealed her away. So that was an event that happened, 65 million years ago at the extinction event. That was the extinction event. However, Kyoryuger, which takes place in the same universe as Zyuranger, supposedly here, is saying there was the Deboss army, an army from space no less, that came and destroyed the dinosaurs. So we have 2 different explanations for the same event within the same universe. And I don't like that. I did not like it when I first heard it, and I find it very concerning that basically the Rise of Kyoryuger just disregarded their own continuity, basically saying, yeah, we know that the giant Satan killed all the dinosaurs, but we're going to say it's space aliens that did it this time. And I never understood that. What I'm hoping they'll do with the movie is retcon it even further to tie the events of Zyuranger into the events of Kyoryuger, saying that the Deboss and Great Satan are one and the same, that they were allied with each other, that the Deboss were tools of Great Satan, any number of things. Because I look at this as an opportunity for them to fix their mistakes. And that's usually what retconning can do. It's not what's always used for, but I think this is a good opportunity in bringing the Zyuranger mythos into it, which again is still part of the main Sentai continuity, will go a long way of fixing that. So I'm kind of excited about seeing that. And not to mention, the usual thing is that we got Hurricaneger 10 years later, which is a separate movie about what happened to the Hurricanegers afterwards. We're talking 20 plus years after Zyuranger ended, and I just want to see where these characters are and what they decide to do with them. I mean, yeah, we saw Mammoth Ranger and Gokaiger and all that, but I want to see kind of an explanation of what happened. I know what the ending is. They ascended to heaven after defeating Bandora and her minions, but now they're descending from heaven. Why are they coming back? What is the big thing? Because here's the thing. It just seems, of my opinion, if you're going to come back from heaven, you better have a damn good reason for doing it. Why are you leaving paradise to come back to Earth? And we've seen good explanations in the past, particularly Black Condor, again in Gokaiger, about him coming back. But I really want to know why the Zyrangers will be coming back. And maybe this will tie into why Mammoth Ranger was back in Gokaiger. Maybe it is something to do with the end of the world and they have to preserve it and all that. But of course, that brings into a theological question. If you're in heaven, why do you worry about earth? I don't know. It's one of those things that I would like to go ahead and see done. Beyond that, of course, the only other interesting things that I would like to see would be like the Zord battles and the interaction between the characters. But this is actually where I'm a little concerned about the film. This film's probably going to be no more than an hour and a half, maybe less than that, given the track record of most Sentai films. And it seems to me that when you have 4 teams of Rangers, and yes, Kyoryuger I'm counting in this, even with their cameo, you have a lot of characters, you have a lot of personalities, and you have a lot of story threads and elements that you need to go ahead and juggle. My biggest criticism with Go Buster versus Gokaiger is that it was a Go Buster movie with the Gokaiger in it. Because it focused more on the characters of the Go Busters, their relationships with their buddy roids, more than it did with the Rangers interacting with each other, learning a lesson, and things like that. And while that happened, that was not the predominating element of the film. And that just really kind of bugged me. So what I'm concerned about now is what interaction is going to be crucial to this film and what interaction will be thrown by the wayside. Because it seems off the top of the head, it should be the Kyoryugers interacting with the Go Busters. But when you throw the element of the Zyrangers in there, I think more people want to see them interact with Zyrangers. I know I do. Not that I don't like Go Buster and all that, but when you don't see certain characters for 20 plus years, you want to see what they've been up to. You want to talk to them. You want to see what their deal is. And the fact that they're dinosaurs really gives the Kyoryuger more of a connection to these characters than they would, excuse me, I'm fighting something here. Gives them more connections to the Kyoryugers and the Zyrangers than they do the Go Busters. It almost seems that the Go Busters are the odd man out here. Now, could I be wrong and maybe the Zyrangers just make a quick cameo in the movie? Well, yeah, they could do that, but why do you bring these actors back after all this time just to do a quick cameo when you can just do the in-suit appearances that you did in Gokaiger and all these other movies? That really doesn't make a lot of sense to me if, again, that's the way they're going to go ahead and go. And let me clarify, all this is speculation on my part just from the fact that I heard the Zyrangers are going to be in the movie. That's all I really know. But again, it's still worrisome when you put in the factors that's a crossover movie. Now, if this was a Kyoryuger movie, or even if it was Kyoryuger versus Zyuranger, then I wouldn't be as worried. But again, when you're mixing 4 different teams, 4 different personalities, introducing a new team, give an explanation why the old team is back, and trying to, further the story of the current team, which would be the Kyoryuger, or quote, current team, that's a lot to go ahead and do in the short amount of time they have. I mean, frankly, I've always felt that the Sentai crossover movies should be 2-3 hour epics. Simply because there's so much to go ahead and do, and a lot of times they just rush through it a lot. Now, not every movie is guilty of this, but to a degree, that seems to be what it is. They try to focus on the interactions and telling a story, but it really just kind of gets bogged down by the coolness of seeing the 2 teams, the fighting sequences, the Zords, and whatnot. And we can debate that another time. But overall, what I'm pointing out here is that it's just a concern of what they're going to do with the Zyrangers. Because, are they going to be like cameos in the movie, or again, are they really going to play a vital role? Raptor and I were talking about this earlier in the week, and it almost seems like maybe what would happen is they'd be like the Ranger key things. So in the last movie, they were hunting down the Ranger keys through time. Maybe the Zyrangers get captured and they have to go save them? I don't know. I mean, there's just a lot of different speculation out there. But what I basically want to go ahead and say today is that, I like the fact that Zyrangers are going in there, but I don't like it if all they're going to do is just be there, if that makes any sense. They need to contribute something. There needs to be a good story element for having them in there. Because if there's not a good story, then why did you pay to have the actors come back for a short little cameo? I don't really get that. So really, I'm just hoping that there is something significant that they do, that there's something important that happens in there, that it expands upon the mythos of all the series, of Sentai in general, that we get good character interaction, and we get something fun. That's mainly what it is. It needs to be something fun. And that's what I'm hoping to go ahead and see. So not too much, on this front at the moment. Again, just some news that broke, and I wanted to kind of give my thoughts about that. But what do you guys think of Zyuranger in the Kyoryuger Go Buster movie? Is it a good idea? Should it be a separate thing? Just how do you guys feel about it? Let me know and get back to me. Leave some comments, definitely. Otherwise, I'm going to end this short video here for you guys today. Enjoy the rest of your week, and the tavern is now closed.